There's a fat in your body you will never see in a mirror, never grab with two fingers, and most people don't even know is there. It's wrapped around your liver. It's pressed against your gut. It's sitting right next to your heart. Scientists call it visceral fat. And even though it's usually less than a tenth of your total body fat, it's responsible for most of the damage happening on the inside. Here's the part almost nobody tells you. When this fat finally starts leaving, the scale barely moves and the mirror stays exactly the same for weeks. But underneath the surface, your entire body is already rewriting itself. Stick with me because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which day the real change starts. And it's probably not the day you think. I'm going to walk you through this hour by hour, day by day, week by week. And I promise the turning point isn't where you'd expect it. So don't skip ahead. The second you cut the late night snacking, skip the sugary drink, and take that first extra walk, your insulin begins to drop. Insulin is the hormone that keeps the door to your fat cells locked shut. The moment it falls, the lock loosens. This is also when you might feel worse before you feel better. Hungrier, edgier, maybe wired at 11 p.m. That's not your body breaking down. That's your body switching fuel sources for the first time in a long time. Most people quit right here because they mistake uncomfortable for wrong. It's actually the opposite. Around day 2 or 3, fat cells deep in the abdomen start releasing small fat particles into your bloodstream. Those particles head straight for the liver, your body's processing plant. According to research on non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, when this fat delivery becomes steady rather than sudden, the liver actually becomes more efficient at clearing it, not less. A 2024 clinical trial out of Japan tested a simple, non-extreme eating pattern built around standard national dietary guidelines, nothing drastic, and measured visceral fat directly with imaging. Participants saw measurable reductions in visceral fat alongside improved metabolic markers in a matter of weeks, not months. You won't see this in a mirror, but you might notice you're less bloated after dinner. Your rings fit a little looser by evening, and the 3 p.m. crash isn't hitting as hard. Here's what most people never learn. Visceral fat doesn't just sit there quietly. It behaves almost like its own organ, actively releasing inflammatory signals that put your whole body on low-grade alert. That's the biology behind feeling tired, foggy, or achy for no obvious reason. As visceral fat starts to shrink, that signal quiets down. By day 7, many people report sleeping deeper, waking up looser instead of stiff, and needing less recovery time after a walk or workout. Your mood evens out. This is your nervous system finally getting to turn off an alarm it's had running in the background for years. This is where it gets interesting. As visceral fat drops, a hormone called adiponectin starts to climb. Think of it as damage control. It helps your muscles use blood sugar properly and pushes your body to keep burning stored fat instead of hoarding it. Studies have linked low adiponectin levels to a higher future, risk of weight gain and blood sugar problems. So watching it rise again is a genuinely good sign. At the same time, leptin, the hormone that tells your brain you're full and starts functioning better. People carrying a lot of visceral fat often develop leptin resistance, where that fullness signal gets muffled. As the fat drops, the signal gets clear again. You stop thinking about food every 2 hours. You eat a normal portion, and it's actually enough. You can't spot reduced fat, but visceral fat is more metabolically active than the fat under your skin. And so it tends to be the first to respond and the first to go. A 2023 systematic review in the British Journal of Sports Medicine analyzed roughly 40 studies covering over 2,000 people and found a consistent pattern. Both structured exercise and calorie-controlled eating reduced visceral fat, with larger weekly energy deficits producing larger reductions. Notably, exercise alone held up well even without strict calorie cutting. This is usually when your waistband tells the truth before the scale does. Pants sit looser. Shirts drape differently. Your face may look a little less puffy. The long-running look-ahead trial followed participants for 2 years and found that those who stuck with a reduced calorie approach, regardless of the specific diet style, saw meaningful, lasting drops in visceral and liver fat. The takeaway wasn't the diet name, it was consistency. A 2025 review of newer medications, like semaglutide and tirzepatide, found substantial visceral fat reduction compared to placebo, with tirzepatide showing an edge in waist circumference and liver fat improvement. This isn't a pitch for medication. It's a reminder that when visceral fat clears, nearly every system downstream improves, whether the trigger is lifestyle or medical support. A small 2025 pilot study combining targeted treatment with consistent exercise used MRI imaging to confirm something important. The visceral fat reduction held steady even 6 months later. That's the real marker of success. Not a quick drop, but one that sticks. So here's the day that actually matters most, not week 6 when your jeans finally fit differently. But day 1, the first 24 hours, when insulin drops and the entire cascade begins. Everything after that is just your body finishing what day one started. Blood sugar steadies. Blood pressure often eases because your organs aren't compressed anymore. Breathing gets easier because there's less pressure on your diaphragm. Energy stops crashing in the afternoon. And here's the detail almost nobody knows. Fat doesn't just vanish. When your body breaks down visceral fat, most of it, close to 84%, leaves your body as carbon dioxide, exhaled with every breath. The rest leaves through sweat and urine. You are, quite literally, breathing out your own fat loss. One walk and one flight of stairs at a time. One more thing worth knowing. Shrinking fat cells release stored compounds back into your bloodstream. This is one reason crash diets can backfire. Losing fat too fast can release more of these compounds than your body comfortably handles. It's not something to fear. It's a reason to go steady instead of extreme. Visceral fat doesn't leave with a dramatic before and after. It leaves quietly, system by system, long before the mirror notices.